Okay, here's another combination of desert plants with drought tolerant plants and succulents. Here's the desert willow. It's beautiful. After a really hot summer, still flowers on the tree. That's amazing. There's a lot of trees that, like the crepe myrtle, they have beautiful flowers during the summer, but it doesn't last as long as this one. Look at this one. This guy's still blooming. It's amazing. Then we have this Mexican sage, beautiful purple flowers. A lion's tail, also super resilient. The mixture of the boulders, and if you see, the boulders are placed with purpose and design, because they're in this angle, they're like vertical, but they're not straight with the sidewalk. They're a little bit off. We use shredded redwood for the mulch to retain the moisture and the nutrients. Again, a boulder there, because we don't want to block the sign. This salvia is the Gregai red. Beautiful. Look at that. Cut mint with purple flowers. A Palo Blanco tree. Super drought tolerant. Most of these plants, I bring them from the desert. I actually drive all the way to the desert near Mexicali. Not these ones, those you can get them anywhere. Here's Oklahoma redbud. This one I also brought from the desert right here, down here. I forgot the name of it right now. I'll have to figure it out. We'll put the name on the video. But look at that. Beautiful. If you turn around, you can see the contrast of the Daniellas and everything together. Oh, it looks like somebody made a knot with this guy here. They didn't like the laziness. You see the looks of it? It's kind of like a lazy look with desert plants. A good 60% of the plants here are for the desert. These landscapes that we added in one video, it's just to show what works around the area, around zone 9B, ornamental plant, landscape ornamental, not like fruit trees or anything like that. We're just concentrating on the ornamental. These areas here are exposed because it's not the same thing to have plants here than having it in a backyard where you have fences and you have hedges and you have a house. There's a lot of protection for the vegetation, so it's a lot easier to grow in those conditions than here in the open. So this is a little bit more challenging, but it works. So this planter in the corner was in the same conditions that you see here. The dirt was just like this. There was no life. Everything was dead. We brought life to that corner. Now back here, this is a Modesto ash tree. This tree is everywhere. Look over there, see the yellow? All those trees are Modesto ash. They're everywhere throughout the city. It's a good tree because it doesn't have no roots problem. 60 years and they breaking now here and then. It's actually not a bad tree. Nature is beautiful. You have the colors, the combination of the boulders, the succulents, the trees, the structure, the rock. It's beautiful. It's very enjoyable. I can see a bee flying here. See right here? There's another one there. There are beautiful landscape all around us. All we have to do is stop, take time, and appreciate beauty. This is a dry landscape. We added different type of plants, and there's a mixture of cactus, like desert plants, with regular Mediterranean plants. It makes a balance where it's not so dry, but at the same time you have the desert look. We have lantana again here, and always this time of the year is the best time to see what you want to plant next spring, because you can see what did well throughout the entire summer. Barrel cactus, a crepe myrtle. I think this is a Natchez variety, and it has the white flower. Shoestring acacia tree. So we mixed them with the other Desiderium willowi. We added this granite boulders here. So we have the decomposed granite for mulch, and we also have these granite boulders. This planter here was just dirt, and there was a tree in there, and it looked really bad. Even you can see the age of this planter by looking at these rocks in here. This border, this is like old school. We added the Mexican pebbles here. Now this lantana looks bad because we cut it lower than normal, just so that we don't cover the sign here, the Los Banos sign. Yeah, it's a beautiful landscape. We can see it from this angle. Now you can see the combination, succulents with Mediterranean plants, Mexican pebble, the decomposed granite, the old stone border, the desert tree with the Mediterranean tree, the succulents, all together makes it a nice planter bed. I always try to avoid desert landscapes. There's cases where you have to because of the type of climate you are located at. So in those cases, try to combine different type of plants, so it's not just like a desert look, but more like a lush desert look. We are at Stonewood planter. This median here was dirt not too long ago. Again, we added a bunch of compost, the right vegetation, and now we have a beautiful lush landscape. We incorporated the boulders again, the natural mulch. Look at this, man, I love the smells of this compost. If you look at the picture before, it was just brown, dead, no life. Now I see worms, beautiful. And then there's little volunteers here. See, of this plant. This is a blue glow agave. There's the two desuliriums here, look. This is the Willowi, because it has the little spikes. And this one is the longissima, like long, see? Beautiful. They're both desert plants. There's also this yucca. It doesn't get as big as the regular yucca, the huge yucca. It stays kind of dwarf, smaller size, and it does well too. This is a deer grass. Okay, here, more of the same thing. The blue glow agave, the celerians, yuccas, almost the same pattern. The only difference is right here, this little section here with this rock. See, nature does the landscape design. If you look around, you see there's a little design here. The design here is to mimic nature. And it wasn't really difficult. All we did was literally dump the load and that was it. Bradford fruitless pear tree. I will not recommend this tree because they grow these leaders or codominant together, and it's not good to have the two leaders going upright like that because they create a weak union or included bark. Because they grow tall and long, they don't have the right structure, so they tend to break. So it's not a really good tree to have. Actually, this tree has some signs of infestation. This tree is probably not good. I can see some holes. Something is boring through the core of the tree right here. You can see the little holes because they get so long and so heavy, so they start open from the center, you know, and they tend to break. But instead, we replace it with this tree because there was another one here, so we replace it with this one, and this guy is a native. Those pears are not native. This is a valley oak, Quercus lobata. This guy here is native to the valley, Central Valley. We planted this a couple of years ago, maybe 3. Look at that. Crazy. This is gonna be a beautiful tree. This is another desert type landscape. This one here, Soju string acacia, Danielas. This is dry because there's not really the organic mulch like this one here. Look, this was planted probably 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. But you can see the result with this type of vegetation. Again, the combination of the boulders. But you see from this angle, look, it's kind of cool because they look naturally like they were there. They've been here for years, but they were put in here 3 years ago. And these rocks here, they're unique because they're like flat and they're big pieces. If you see this rock right here, this is a big one that is buried in there so it doesn't tilt over. More pedalanthus here. There's two different ones, the one with the leaves and without leaves. So that right there is the coral fountain. But you see how that's in between the two sidewalks and there's no mulch. So it's extremely hot and they're doing fine. They look beautiful. See this tree? Look at the flowers right now. This is already almost fall. There's still flowers on that tree. And it was flowering during the entire summer. This is a desert willow. See how beautiful that is? I think it's nice and it's still a desert landscape. Look at this beauty. They almost feel like steel, like rusted steel. There's just gorgeous rocks. Look at that. And the placement of the boulders makes it look like they've been here for millions of years. But we put them in the ground 2 years ago or so. You don't have to worry so much about the landscape when you put the right vegetation. You don't have to babysit it too much. We planted this, and this is a commercial corner. It's busy. There's no protection from the north cold wind, the heat. It's very exposed here, and they're doing great. This beautiful hedge here was also planted. It doesn't require a lot of maintenance, and it's doing great. It's a nice screen for the for walls or equipment. It's called Carolina Cherry Laurel. Again, it's a combination of the desert with the Mediterranean landscape. If you look that way, it's part of the landscape. Beautiful pedalanthus with this little red leaf, so gorgeous. There's also the other one that has bigger leaves and a bigger flower, but this one is cute. Then we have again the blue glow agave, Asian oleander, the one with the yellow flower. Back here we have calandrina. Again, let's take a look. Bunch of mulch in here. Wow, this is pretty thick. We put a lot in here. A lot of mulch. Ooh, smells delicious. Same thing, we removed the old dead soil and we brought in new compost mixed with sand for drainage, and then we cover it with the mulch, the green waste mulch. We build these little planter beds here, and then we put the plants. Roselia, beautiful. The celerian, again, the lion's tail. Lion's tail because it puts out like this guy here. This will turn, oh, you can see it inside. This will turn orange, big orange that looks like the tail of a lion. So that's what they call lion's tail. Agave desmitiana, variegated one. It's nice and smooth. It has the little yellow stripe, beautiful. But they want a little bit of protection during the cold. So it's perfect here with this wall. Oh, Look at this plumeria. I'm not sure, but some people say that it's a Hawaiian tree, maybe because there's a lot of them over there. And I've seen them in Costa Rica, I've seen them in other tropical places, so I don't know if it's native to Hawaii. Dodonea viscosa, or hot bush. It's a nice tree. People use them for screens, you know, along the wall. If you want to have a green screen, this is a nice tree, and I changed that to purple. This is what we've been driving around for our photography session, our video session. That's where we carry our professional gear on that. Okay, money. So here we have similar vegetation, but in a more like a courtyard. And we incorporated this pondless water feature, but again, Mexican sage, cat mint, roselia. This was planted about 2 months ago. Plumeria trees. On this side we have asclepias. I don't know how to pronounce this. This rainbow bush right here. Rainbow because they change colors. It turns more like red depending on the season. We have some lomandra. There's different types of lomandras, but this one is lomandra platinum. Sometimes there's a little bit of trash in the mulch because remember this is this recycled stuff, but this is good for the soil. Look at that. Ooh, there's already worms everywhere. See, there's a worm here. I love to see them. When I see worms, I see life. Okay, this guy is a little aggressive and invasive, so we have to keep an eye on this guy here. The bird of paradise, same vegetation and more protected area. A little bit of shade, but it's doing great. This is the corner of Ortigalita and Cardoza Road. So we have a xylosma there. Those espaliers, they call them espaliers because when you buy them, they're already on that form on the trellis. So those espaliers there are xylosma. Xylosma is like a tree that can be trimmed as a bush or like a hedge, and they were used to cover the wall to prevent graffiti and stuff. So that's a nice screen shrub right here. There's also this border here. It's called cat mint. Cat mint, they do taste like mint. I think they attract cats, or they push them away. It has a little bit of mint to it. I don't know if it's good for you, but so this is a nice border. So this is the lion's tail. Look at that. It has like a fuzzy flower. See, it has a fuzzy flower, orange. So lion's tail because it has the flowers at the end of the shoot. So this, when you trim this guy, don't use the hedge trimmer. Look, see right here? They trim this like a hedge, but no, they want to be more natural. Actually, everything. All the plants, all the vegetation, they want to be natural. They don't want to be shaped into anything. But we do, in some occasions, like the hedge right there, we don't want to let that grow wild. But this, in this case, this guy here, we can thin it out from the inside. See inside here? It's going to be all dead. So I would suggest to leave some tall ones like that. There's some green, a little green one there. And then it's not going to look as bad if you do that. If you leave some in the top, it's not gonna be all dead. You're still gonna have some green and some flowers, and then later on the new stuff will grow at the bottom, and then you can come back and then you can reduce the height. That planter over there, see how that open area with no plants, there's only like few plants there? That's because some of the plants, they just don't do well here. Like, it's too hot. You can see how they were under stress during the summer. Again, that plant can do really good in somebody's backyard, but here where it's exposed, they have a difficult time. But again, we have it on this side here, look, and this side looks fine, except for over at the end. A little bit of stress here too. Now this corner, we have similar plants, similar vegetation. See, the same thing. Boulder, valley oak here. That's a smoke tree. A desert willow in the back. Hesperalo, you plant this guy, puts out a nice, a beautiful flower. You can plant this guy this time of the year, and then maybe a little bit of water, and that's it. It'll survive through summer with no water. Beautiful palo verde. The structure is so amazing. So amazing that we want to open them up so that people can see the structure. We actually do that on purpose. So this vegetation is for the desert. We didn't put the sand like in the desert. We had the mulch like in the forest, just to keep the organic material in the soil. It's a little contradicting because we have the desert vegetation with the mulch from the forest. A lot of this vegetation don't need to have the mulch. They can survive without water and without a lot of organic matter. But we use this because it keeps the ground clean, because when you have a lot of traffic, they get contaminated really quick. So the ground becomes more dead. In the desert, there's no mulch, but there's no contamination like dirt gets here, the soil gets here. And that's probably why the plants, they survive, they do well there. Here we have the contamination of the vehicles, the traffic, oil and gravel and things like that, petroleum, asphalt. So the mulch keeps the soil cleaner. Okay, this is a Walmart parking lot, and we continue with the same, mainly because we want things to thrive with our climate. There's no irrigation in this section here. Well, actually there is irrigation, but it's not working because they have something going on here. So this entire summer didn't get much water, and they're still here. This was planted earlier this year too. We saw earlier the gold barrel cactus. This one is a red one, pretty cool. Again, the mulch keeps the soil clean. Not clean like the look. It doesn't look clean, but it keeps it clean from getting contaminated from the traffic. This is the normal, this type of vegetation, the hedges, shrubs like this. You see it right here, you see it on the other side. Those are oleander. These are Indian hawthorn. So this was landscaped long time ago. You can see there's still signs of the drip line, the drain. There was a tree here, some shrubs here. It's all gone. So when you put synthetic grass, or let's say you put, if you put more concrete, you're not really helping much because synthetic lawn creates heat. So you're like contributing to desertification instead of creating a lush landscape. This is oleanders here, super tolerant. Now, everything here is getting water. It doesn't just grow naturally. Some of the plants that we plant over there, they can thrive with no water. Here, even with water, it's all gone. So this is the entry to our town. And this planted for years and years, it was ugly. There were some big Tucurian, forget the name of the shrub. It was a big shrub. It was always dirty, full of trash. It was terrible. So one day we decided to still remove the whole thing and then start fresh. So we brought these plants in here. This was about a year ago, I think, less than a year. Yeah, I think it was last spring. This has only been here one summer. This fire stick pencil is super cool. See how it's changing color already? We're in fall, and we brought this guy from the desert. It's doing well. We got some red lava boulders here. Again, the same thing. We have this mulch, the recycled mulch, and some moss rock boulders here. It's super cool. But we're here. We're making this video for you right now. Check this out. This planter here, this planter used to be a green ground cover and a green hedge, and it was blocking the visibility. Now it's more open and it's more fun because what? Because we added this. We added this beautiful, oh, sharp, sorry. We added this guy. Let me feel it. Ah, so cool. And then we added this boulder. We added those, again, blue glow agave. A little bit of compost over there and mulch, but the mulch is gone. We're gonna need to put new mulch in here very soon. And then we added that tree. That's a valley oak. The tree is awesome. One of my favorite trees. Once that tree gets old, it's gonna have that beautiful structure. It's gonna look so cool. Can't wait for it to get bigger, hopefully in 40 years. I like the change in colors. The yellow, the bright yellow, the green over there, the boulders again. Okay, pura vida. Our next stop includes a battle within the opposite sex. ¡Qué manera! Pura carga pesada! That was all there was here, and the two olive trees, those two olive trees, and oleanders everywhere. So thank you, nature, because nature is the one that inspired us to mimic it. Because if it wasn't for nature, I wouldn't be making a hill here. If it wasn't for nature, I wouldn't be making this little creek here. So see, there's always a kid in us. I'm 47 years old, but I have fun looking at this little creek here. I just love it. This is fun. I put these little things here, these little rocks. Again, this used to be all flat. So who is sexier, me or the rocks? Of course the rocks. Look at this beauty. Man, I cannot believe what I see right now. I just love the texture, the rust. Look at that. And again, mimicking planet Earth, or pura vida, Earth. Que manera.